Okay, so good morning. And for this video, I'm going to show you how to create a table that is something like this one. Okay, so the first step that we need to do here is we need to identify actually the numbers of rows and columns for our table. So we have here I should say three columns, right? So we have three columns, and for the rows, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So 5 rows and 3 columns. So as what I have mentioned during our discussion, the first thing that we need to do in creating the table is we need the table element. So the table element is our starting point in creating a table. So table, and then for the first or the uppermost part of this table, which is the labels, we make use of t head. So we're going to place our row inside our t head. So by doing this, we'll be able to organize our table content. So since we have here a label for our table, we just insert it inside the t head. And then after t head, we have the table row now, and then the table column. So since we need three table columns here, basically we need three TDs in creating the column. So we just need to insert product, quantity, and lastly the price. So from that, we will be able to insert the content in our table. So we have here now the table. Okay, so next, let's just add a property here, border, and set a value of 1. So from that, we'll be able to see the border of our table. So next on the list is we are now ready to insert the table body of our table of the content of our table. So in here, outside the t head, we just need to put a t body, and inside the t body, we need now to insert our first row. So that will be our first item, and then inside it td. So we need, since we our main or our t head is consists of 3 columns, basically our body will also consist of 3 columns. So we just need to put or type in price, what will be the quantity, let's say 2, and 120 for its total value. So here, let's add a span. So I will have a discussion about this one later on as we go on to our video. So we just need to add span tag. So next, we just need to copy this since we need another body, which is a content, which is soft drinks regular. So let's just type in soft drinks, and then inside the span, we put in regular value, let's say 3, and then price is 80 pesos. Right? So that is now for our third row. And next, this will serve now as our last row. Our last row is consists of the following information: ice cream, avocado, 1 and 40 pesos. Ice cream, avocado flavor, its price is around 45 pesos. So 1, how many order? 1 and 45 pesos. So let's try to check. So we have now this table here. So next is, we are now, once we are done with the t body, Let's move now outside our T body and insert T foot. So this will serve as our footer. So inside our footer, we have TR and then TD. So in here, we just need to put on 3 TDs. So this will be the total. And then the value is 245.00. So let's try to check our value here. So ayan. So this is now the default look of our table. So let's say we want to merge this table. So we have mentioned in our discussion that we can actually merge cells in our table. So to do that, we make use of call span. So since we are spanning two columns here, okay? So to do that, go back here. We need to delete this and then call span is equal to 2. Just save it and the effect is this one. So as you can see, the tables or the cells here now was merged. So it became one already by using a call span. So that's all for the structure of our table, and I think we are now ready to apply a design in our table. So, syempre, we do not like our table uh, that looks like this. We do not like na ganito yung ano niya, design niya. So, we try to design it. Okay? We try to apply a CSS dito sa table natin. So, on your created table, so, syempre, we need to link this. So link CSS. So since it's inside our CSS table, CSS and then slash, and then select for my table.css because we will be using that CSS file. So the first thing that we need to do here is we will be using the asterisk. So what is the use of the asterisk? So this will serve as a universal selector. So whatever or any HTML that is available or that was used in your HTML file, the property that will be inserted here will apply to all. Okay, so margin is 0, padding, let's say we make it 0, box sizing, border box. Let's say we'll be using the font family Poppins. So this is my favorite font family. And the letter spacing, it's the spacing between the letters. We just apply 5px. And then let us try to look at the design. So yeah, this will be the design. Next, I'm going to add now a background color in our body. So since we need a solid color, let's just make it as orange. And so add na yung background color natin. Now we are set to change the appearance of our table. So table and then border collapse. So you just need to search on the discussion about this online. So for the border collapse, you have actually two values here. We have the collapse and the separate. And for the width, let's just make it as 25 EM. Background color, say white smoke, and then border radius, let's say 5px, and margin 25px and auto. So the 25px here in our margin, so as you can see, there are two values here. We have the 25px and then auto. So actually the first value here will apply to the top and bottom margin. Top and bottom margin. While for the second property, this will apply to the right and left margin. Okay, so to give you a little bit information about this, we'll just try to adapt the explanation of this under W3 schools. Okay, so actually for a margin, it has four elements. We have the top, the right, the bottom, and the left. So you can actually set its property by identifying the side of the margin. So margin top, margin right, margin bottom, or margin left. So in case you want to use a margin value, margin property, and for you have applied four values. So this will apply to the first one will apply to top margin, the second one is right margin, the third one will be bottom margin, and the last one is for the left margin. How about if you use three values? So the first one is it will apply to top margin, next one is the right and left margin, and lastly it will apply to the bottom margin. For 2, so as what I have mentioned, the first value is the top and bottom margin, while for the second value, it's for the right and left margin. But for 1, if 1, and then if you did not actually mention the four elements and you just use margin, if you have one value here, it will apply to all the four elements of your margin. So this will also apply to padding. So they have the same explanation about this one. Okay, so let's try to save our work and save our CSS. We need to go back in our HTML also and delete this. So this will be this is how the table looks like. So let's just add additional width here. Let's just make it 40 or 50. So we have here now our table. Okay, so next is let's try to add a dash or broken line below our t head. Okay, let's try to add a table line inside our t head. So to do that, table and then t head and then tr. So it's because we will be applying this to our first row. So border dash bottom is equal to 2px and then dash gray, and then let's try to look what will the effect of this. So ayan, so meron na tayong broken line below our t head. Next na gagawin natin is we'll try to add at the on the upper portion of our t foot. So we just need to copy this and then change our t head to t foot, and then change this to top. So since we are applying this on the top of our row, okay, so that's why we make use of the top. Next, we're going to add now a different design for our t head. So in doing this, we always start at the table and then t head. After t head, we have td, tr, and td. So this means that this will apply to all the rows and columns inside our t head. So font size, let's make it as 16px. For the letter spacing, let's make it 1px, and then color gray, and for its padding, let's make it 8px. So since we did not mention the different elements here, the padding will apply to the whole sides, I should say. So, yeah. Next, how about for the T foot? So let's just try to copy this and then just change this to green perhaps. Oops, we forgot to change this to T foot. So ayan, we have now that effect. Okay, so now as you can see here, this is what I have mentioned a while back. If we will not set the padding of our content, is the letters here will actually move at the, or yung side nito, yung edge niya is didikit. So in order for us to solve this problem is we just need to put uh, padding in our body. So padding, let's just make it 8px. So that it will move from left to right. Okay, so the next thing that we need to do in our table is we're going to align this column here into the right hand side of our table. So for us to do that, we just need to type in the table and then T head, TR, and TD. Then we will add a property and last child. So this will allow our counting from right to left. Okay, so the counting here will be 1, 2, and 3, since we only have three columns. Okay, so inside the open and close parentheses, we're going to put 1 since we are referring to the last child. Then inside this one is we're going to use the text align right. Okay, so then save. So as you can see, the price value here was moved to the right, and we'll try to do this inside the T head, T body also, and the T foot. So as you can see here, they do not have the same alignment. So we just need to put a comma sign here and just copy this one. Okay, comma, and then copy, and let's change this to, instead of T head, T body, and T foot. T foot. So once we save this, we'll look at what happened. All the components or elements inside the T body and T foot was aligned to the right. So that is how to align a certain column or set of rows, or set of columns to the right of the table. So you make use of this property. Next is I think we need to align also the second column in our table. This one, the quantity and the body, or the number of quantities being ordered. So for us to do that, we just need to type in table, T head, TR, TD. So basically, we can also use the nth child, but for demo purposes, I'm just going to show you another way to do that. So we make use of the nth child. So from here, instead from right to left, the reading now will be
from left to right. So this is 1, 2, and 3, since we only have three tables. But in case we have four columns, I should say, the four columns will be numbered as 4. So since we need this second column here, since we need this second column here, we're going to put the value 2 inside the parentheses. Okay, so we need also another value. So that is for the t head, this is for the t body, and then open and close parentheses, text align center. So let's try to look what happens when we save this. So as you can see, the second column was adjusted and it was moved to the center of the cell. Okay, so that is how to center a certain column. And lastly, let's try to change some portion of the this one, the fries regular, large, regular, and avocado flavor. So we can actually change that. So notice here that they are inside the TD, but we make use of span. So the definition of span in HTML is, let's just try to adapt the explanation of the W3 schools here. It says that a span tag is an inline container used to mark up a part of a text or a part of a document. So you can actually highlight or emphasize a certain portion in your paragraph. You make use of the span tag. Okay, so going back to our code, so we need to put in table. So since it's the span is inside the table and the span is inside the t body, and then span. So let's try to make it as the font size as 10px and color, say gray. Then save and look what happened. So let's just make it 12, and so that it's readable. So that is how we created this table. Okay, so it has something to do with the first thing that we did was to create the structure. So without the CSS kanina, that is the default look of a table. But since we added an HTML design, we were able to come up with this final output. Okay, so if you have questions, you may just regarding our demo video, you may post them inside the Q&A forum. Okay, so that's all for this video, and thank you for listening.